Hey guys, today I want to talk about the significance of this port that they're building up in Batanes. There was a thing in Philstar the other day about this. This is Batanes Seaport to be funded by U.S. Now, Bataan and Batanes are two different places. Batanes is the islands to the north. They're the closest islands to Taiwan. They're about 200 kilometers or less from Taiwan. I'm going to read this article first, and then I'm going to comment on it. It says, Manila, Philippines, a plan is underway to construct a United States-funded civilian seaport in Batanes, chosen for strategic significance and proximity to Taiwan. Now, keep that in mind. Batanes Governor Mary Lou Seco said during a Philippine Navy event over the weekend that the U.S. Army would arrive in April to further discuss the plan that aims to accommodate Filipino workers from Taiwan in the event of a crisis. That's kind of interesting. Located less than 200 kilometers from Taiwan, Batanes holds strategic significance should a conflict ensue between China and Taiwan. Now, one of the other articles, and I'm going to keep on reading this, in one of the articles that I read, it kind of like snuffed down that they were going to use it for any military thing. But this article here kind of states the facts. Before it said that if there was any typhoons or monsoons or anything like that they could unload these ships up in Batanes, which is an island way up north. Why would you unload things that are meant for Manila up in Batanes, which is really far away to the north, and then you'd have to fly it? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it says Defense Secretary Teodoro Jr. called for the development of more structures in Batanes to increase military presence, which is probably a good idea. And this article kind of basically states it for what it is. I think what's going to happen is they'll use that as a probably, and it's not stating this, but it's kind of stating that it is, but it's not. It is doing this for a civilian port, but I think it has more to do with becoming more of a military port in an emergency or something like that. And it says a Reuters report in August 2023 said the U.S. military was in talks to develop a civilian port in a remote northernmost islands of the Philippines, a move that would boost American access to strategically located islands facing Taiwan. Think about that for a second. And I think that's what's going on here. And then afterwards, it'll become a military port or something like that. I mean, it's kind of, glossing over the facts here. And it says, Keiko said she sought funding from the U.S. for the building of an alternative port there, which was intended to assist the unloading of cargo from Manila during rough seas in the monsoon season. There we go. So it goes back to what the other article said that I read. The Philippines has recently ramped up its military ties with the U.S. and allowed greater U.S. access to military bases. And there you go. Now, my thoughts on this is that I think that's the perfect place for military ships to pull in and out of to refuel, to pick up more food. It's right near Taiwan. Also, one of the other articles said that if people were fleeing Taiwan during a possible Chinese takeover or attempted takeover or whatever, at least they could flee in boats and they could go to Batanes. And a lot of these people would be Filipinos that would be fleeing the island of Taiwan. It's interesting to note here, though, that they keep on saying it's going to be like a public, port or whatever, or a civilian port. I think it will be, eventually turned into a little bit of both. And it's good for those islands, but those islands really are tiny, and there's not a huge population on any of those islands. They're relatively small, and a lot of people go there to visit as a tourist. It doesn't really have any much significance other than it's a tourist spot. But as far as shipping things in there, most stuff could be shipped in on an airplane there and take care of the islands for a long period. And there's really no reason for people to offload goods there from Manila when you think about it. There is going to be some significance to this being a possible military port. I guess they're trying to downplay it. I think that the United States is trying to downplay it, and everybody's trying to downplay it because of the chess game that we play in this world, you know, and it's probably the right thing to do. But I mean, it's kind of out there in the open. Everybody sees what it is and what it's really for. I do think it's a really great idea, though, that they do make that into a port or something. It'd be great, though, to see. They've been talking about Manila becoming a place for cruise ships, okay? And you could jump on a cruise ship in Manila and travel all around Asia, I guess. I guess that's what they're trying to do. And that's part of what's going on with the filling in of Manila Bay. They're filling in Manila Bay and really, really fast. And I think the world is going to see a new Philippines in another, 5 to 7 years or something. I think the Philippines is drastically changing in a huge way, massive way. And I think that Batanes could also become a seaport where cruise ships would pull in and show how beautiful that Batanes is. So it kind of serves two purposes: military purpose, tourist purpose, bringing in more money up in those areas, because I think Batanes could use some of that extra income from more tourists going in there. Those islands are pretty windy, but they are beautiful islands. I've read up on them. I've seen a lot of videos up there, and I've always wanted to go there. And someday I want to go there, and maybe if I go there, I'll do a video for you guys from up there, and I'll show you what it's like up there, because it is very beautiful. If you get a chance, it's Batanes, Batanes, and look it up and check it out, because if you live in the Philippines as an expat, it's a must-go place. I'll say that. It looks a little bit like Ireland, a little bit like Newfoundland, but it's got a volcano there. It's got big cliffs. It's got the thatched homes, like in Ireland, and the stone homes. Beautiful gardens. Yet it's got the history there. They have tunnels there dug by the Japanese, I guess. There's a lot of history that goes on there. A lot of beautiful history. And there's some really beautiful, wonderful people there with a lot of trust. I heard that the stores up there are, you just pay, you put your money into like a basket or whatever for, you add up all your prices and you pay. There's nobody in the stores, I guess, sometimes in some of the stores there. So it's like they trust people up there. They trust people to, be honest. And there's not much of that left in the world today, and that's what makes these islands more beautiful. Will it be like that in the future with all this stuff going on up there? I think it's going to change the people of Batanes in a huge way when more people start going there and more people want to start living there. And I'm not sure that how easy it is to move up to Batanes as an expat or something like that. I don't think you can live there. I think those are protected islands. It seems like there's not a lot of places that you can stay there either. From what I've seen on the videos, there's only like a few places that you can stay, like Airbnb type places, maybe a few hotels or something like that, but there's not a lot. And it's just kind of a place that if I was the Philippines, I would protect it heavily, especially the way of life up there, because it's such a beautiful place. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's something I want to put out there because I've been reading a lot about this Batanes port and stuff, and I just think it's kind of important. God bless, guys. Take care.